Well, hello everybody. I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular. And before I go on, I hope you have your rubber gloves on, your hazmat suits on, because we're going to be talking about a metal that is radioactive. Yes, the ultra powerful and ultra interesting metal called uranium. Now, why am I talking about uranium again? And yes, I've spoken about uranium on this channel a couple times because I find it to be an opportunity as a part of a diversified portfolio. And now you know that I am not a financial advisor, and I think you should do your own research, of course, whenever I talk about anything that requires you to invest in. You should be doing your own research. Now, today I'm going to discuss Uranium Energy Corp, who is sponsoring this video and is truly exciting to me as a pure play uranium company. What I mean by that is that's what they do. They mess around with uranium, they mine it, they find it, they invest in companies that deal in uranium, and that's all they do. They're not investing in other things. That's a pure play uranium company. That's Uranium Energy Corp. Now, I used to really not know a lot about nuclear power. And if you try to ask me to be a scientist, I still probably couldn't, figure it out. But did a little research into nuclear power, and I find it to be fascinating. I used to think it was like a dirty form of energy, dangerous, but it's absolutely incorrect. Nuclear energy is safe and extremely energy dense and non-polluting. It's kind of fascinating, this stuff right here. And just a little bit can actually make a lot of bit of energy. Now, what makes it important in today's politically driven and energy conscious environment is because we need that stuff more than ever. Countries around the world are starting to really look into nuclear power more than ever. Finland has recently started up its first new reactor in over 40 years. The United Kingdom announced plans to increase nuclear capacity from 7 gigawatts to 24 gigawatts by 2050. France, which is already depending on nuclear for 70% of its electricity, said it would reverse plans to shut down older reactors and build another 6 new ones by 2050. Another 6 after they said that they were going to be shutting things down, the old ones. No. The German Economic Ministry is considering extending the use of its 3 nuclear plants as public support for nuclear energy increases due to its current fuel shortages and the prospect of a permanent cutoff of Russian gas. Yes, I read that. I want to make sure that you know that I'm actually finding this information for you. But again, do your own research. Also, the Netherlands plans to build at least 2 new reactors in the coming years. So, due to a surge of increased energy need, sources like nuclear power, which drives off uranium, is big news right now. With inflation as sickening as it currently is. I mean, it's disgusting. Now, I don't have to tell you about the high cost of energy like fuel and electricity right now with inflation and everything just going on. It's just sickening. It drives me crazy. But now I want to mention Uranium Energy Corp, talk about them a little bit. It's a company that is getting a hold of uranium through its projects and invest in companies that deal in uranium. Now, Uranium Energy Corp is a pure play uranium company because that's all they're focused on, just uranium. I've spoken before about Uranium Energy Corp, or UEC, on the New York Stock Exchange, and I have personally held my position in the company long term for over a year now. That's a fact, and I'm happy to keep on holding it too. I'm a believer in it. Uranium Energy Corp stock price has had a pullback though, along with just about the entire stock market, of course. I don't know if you are always investing in the stock market or you're always checking it like I am, but the last couple months have been kind of rocky, kind of stressful. But over a long term, through their price history chart of UEC, you can definitely see some really interesting opportunity. And to me, it looks like this right here is going to be a low into a nice heavy peak coming up. That's just my opinion. But I think it's a time you want to definitely look into this company. Uranium Energy Corp is also led by Amir Adnani, who does extremely well in bringing out potential in companies and is one of the big reasons why I had no hesitation to go ahead and invest personally in this company, just because he seems like he's a moneymaker, in my opinion. I mean, it just seems like whatever he gets into turns to gold. Now, although you can actually go to Amazon, surprisingly enough, I found this out, and buy uranium, it is radioactive, and I'm personally not trying to stack this stuff like silver and gold. It's just because it might turn my house green. So it's much wiser, in my opinion, to trust a company like Uranium Energy Corp that is dealing with it from afar, or at least kind of far from my house. Now, I read all my comments that I get on my channel, and I've seen several comments talking about Uranium Energy Corp and other uranium companies that I've talked about on this channel, and how glad they are that I've mentioned them, and how kind of just into the future they're looking, and how much they believe also in uranium. One of my most interesting comments talked about, how people bought a bunch of Uranium Energy Corp and they're holding it for as long as they can. So I thought that was kind of interesting to see those comments. Um, Now, listen, unfortunately, with war going on in Russia, I mean, and we know about that, a lot of leaders from around the world are kind of like looking away from Russia, kind of just, putting them to the side, not really wanting to deal with them at all, not trusting them. Now, Russia, unfortunately, is a supplier of around 10% of uranium. So, with a significant source of uranium now being pushed to the side, because Russia is kind of out of that game, and inflation driving energy prices wild, the cost of this fascinating metal, uranium, is going to undoubtedly go up. I mean, it almost has to, seemingly, right? Now they increase that, from this craziness going in Russia, the lack of supply of it, and the inflation. It's probably going to affect the price of uranium, which in turn will likely affect the stock price of Uranium Energy Corp in a positive way. Again, UEC on the New York Stock Exchange. So just about any kind of exchange that you're dealing with will be able to trade this stock, UEC. Their stock chart, again, you got to look at that. Look at what's coming. And I just feel like it's a breakaway point coming up. And in fact, there's other analysts, and I'll put that on the video right here so you can quickly see it. Other analysts are saying that it could be $6 to $7 in the next year or so. So they're agreeing that the stock price is likely going to go up. And once the stock market starts to really, really recover, which it's begun to do right now, I think we're going to see some price increases on things like Uranium Energy Corp, which is due for an increase. Oh, by the way, I'll provide information down in the description of this video so you can do your own research on Uranium Energy Corp, and you can also see their stock ticker symbol of UEC just down below. Don't listen to my words. Check out Uranium Energy Corp's About section on your own. Now, again, I'm going to tell you about this again. It's not to really, push you into anything. I want you to do your own research, but it's just to show you that I'm serious about this company. I was confident enough myself to buy into Uranium Energy Corp. I invested my own money into it. I've held it long term for over a year now. And after learning about them, I was like, yep, I'm buying in. I felt that, strongly about them. So do your own research. I'm not saying to buy until you have no money left, but definitely check them out for sure. And that being said, don't only take things from me, man. You got to do the research for yourself. It's just so important to do your own research. And I'll have that information down in the description of the video so you can do that. It's just a click away, no big deal, right? Heck, do some research on nuclear power and just find out how interesting it is, and how practically essential it's going to be for this growing world. I mean, it's coming, ladies and gentlemen. It's already here, but it's coming harder for sure. But listen, hey, do the research, and I thank you so much for taking the time to think about this. And I hope you at least challenge yourself to check out those things I talked about, nuclear energy and Uranium Energy Corp, and just learn about it a little bit and learn how this could actually help build up your portfolio. You're still in the metals realm for sure, but it's just a little different. It's not quite silver and gold like we always talk about. It's just a little different, a little tweak, just something a little different. But anyways, I got to go for now. Appreciate you for watching. And, let me know what you think about Uranium Energy Corp and uranium in general for the future, because I am definitely a believer. I got to go for now. Spegtacular is out.